episode number 4 of Bitchin' Millennials. I have someone here who is not a millennial. And the previous podcast, I've talked about other older generations and how they view us and how it's usually kind of negative. So we're going to get a different view from a person who's a generation ahead of me, my own mother.
2 generations ahead of you, I think.
Well, definitely older. That's all that matters. So we're going to kind of get her opinion on different things that we've talked about so far and see what she thinks of us millennials and what's going on in the world. Well, you love me, and
I like a lot of millennials.
Well, that's good. Did you hear that, guys? We're on a good roll so far. You're going to do well with this one. All right, so from your point of view, having 2 daughters who are millennials, what do you think right now is the biggest challenge that you can see that we face?
Healthcare, definitely. Student loans, ridiculous.
Yes. Those are 2 things we just talked about, actually, in the last 2 podcasts. And I think student loans is a big one, like you were saying the other day. It's almost kind of like a big circle. So it's like, how are we supposed to get a job that pays well if we don't have a degree? But then how do we pay off our loans if we get a degree?
You don't get a job that pays well anyway.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our main thing here. And I feel like a lot of people your age, or even, into grandpa's.
39?
Yes, 39. And into grandpa's age, he, sometimes people don't understand that struggle. Why do you think that is? There are still a lot of people out there who are like, millennials are lazy and blah, blah, blah.
No, I don't understand it because I see it. I mean, the colleges are just ridiculous what they charge. So no one can do it now and work and go to college. You have to, and it's so much work, so you have to go to college. That's all you can do. And then it's not a 4-year degree. Most people are going 5. So.
Well, that's true too, and
and even more.
Exactly. A lot of jobs now require that further degree, like a master's, and so you're in debt.
Or even they want you to have, experience. Well, wasn't that what you go to college for, to learn the skill to be in the job?
You would think
3 years
so.
Experience?
Yeah.
And they don't want to pay you during that time.
Oh, no.
No.
Especially internships and stuff. A lot of them are unpaid internships.
Which isn't right, because
yeah,
legally they're supposed to pay you something, at least minimum wage.
You would think so. But even people with that experience, if it's only 1 year, like you were saying, you're somehow supposed to magically have 3 years experience in something that you just graduated a degree with.
And if you have an interest in something, you can be trained to do anything.
That's what I think too. I think part of it is almost like laziness.
Or on-the-job training, yeah.
Yeah, of companies that just don't want to take the time to try and help people out.
Well, now they worry because everyone job hops. But that's because of the situation.
Exactly. So what do you think is the biggest difference, someone from my age, which I won't say because it will give away your age, that it's not quite 39, but when you were my age, in your late 20s, what do you think is the biggest difference, either personally or, financially?
No, financially, for sure. I was able to graduate high school and walk into a job, and I've been at that job for 37 years, so, that's unheard of now.
That is true.
Yeah, and, stay there, get good benefits, and no college degree, and be able to get raises, promoted, and, so we didn't have that debt already hanging over our heads.
That's very true.
And then I also had health care. Right out of high school.
That's that's nice, and that's a big one. At one point too, you only worked once a week when you were younger, right? And you were still able to maintain.
Yep, 1 day a week at the same company, and I kept the health insurance going. Basically, that was all it was for. But yeah, and I kept my seniority and everything, and then went back full time. Yeah. So.
And
that's unheard of.
Yeah, that's crazy. And do you know, in that, we don't have to name the company, but in your company, do they still do something like that, or is
They
it just,
still have regular full-time, you get full benefits. So that's still a good thing because a lot of these companies do purposely part-time so that they don't have to give benefits.
yes.
So
But is it still a possibility, even if someone wanted to work that one day a
no,
week?
it depends because like they have different segments of the company that do different things. Some are like 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So that I don't know for sure, but
Right. Well, and you work for a large company,
right,
so
and they work with you really well.
yeah.
But yeah, those are two hurdles. Didn't have a student loan, and health insurance. But back then we didn't stay on our parents till 26. It was 18, and you were off.
Right.
So
That's a big difference, definitely, between.
right.
That's also probably why I feel like people of your generation, like there were definitely people who went to college, but it was not nearly like it was for us, where like in high school, that's once you got to junior year, that's all you heard about.
Nope. I don't even know out of my group, a circle of people, maybe one person went to college.
Okay. Yeah. So that's like you said, no loans, and it wasn't like that big shove of like you have to go right out of high school, even though you don't know what you want to do.
Or you're not ready. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know people who out of high school went away and then for whatever reason couldn't handle either being away or you all of a sudden have this freedom that people can't handle, so like their grades were terrible and
and then you're wasting a lot of money.
Money. And you were telling me the other day, like from Grandpa's generation, like Grandpa went to college, but he was able to afford it because even just working.
Right. He worked at night, went to school during the day. But yeah, the classes weren't not $3,000 for one class or whatever it is now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely could afford to work and go to school.
Right. So, and like, well, usually the conclusion we've been coming to so far in the podcasts are like, there has to be some kind of major shift or change. But it's hard to say where that should come from first. What do you think?
Well, I can say that my company has learned that these entry-level jobs that they were trying to get a college degree for, they have now gone back to high school diploma, entry level, and they will help you if you want a degree by helping you with schooling or something regarding the business.
Oh, I see.
So I think that, that's better because why am I going to get a 4-year college degree and come into some entry-level job that I'm not going to make any money?
Right.
So they were seeing people leaving.
Okay.
Or they were coming in right as they were finishing their degree, and they'd stay for a year, they'd train them, they'd get them up and running, and then boom, they're gone.
Almost like they were overqualified at that point.
Right, and they knew they were going to leave. It was just a matter of time. They were just biding their time until they found another job.
Yes, okay. And I think there are some companies out there that will help people get their degrees.
Yeah, you
or
have to
will
get
help
certain grades, and you have to be with the company a certain amount of years.
Which I think's fine, but like you said, it's also sometimes that's that stipulation of like, okay, but you have to get it in this thing.
Right.
Which, I mean, if you're at a company and that's where you want to be and what you want to do,
it would make sense that the company's not going to pay for you to do something else and leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's like almost kind of like a positive thing too, that they're going back to.
Yeah, that just recently, it was like in the last 5 years that a job they were taking a college degree for, they started thinking about it and they're like, you know what, people coming out of high school can answer a telephone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The next generation kids, they'll look at like a regular phone and be like,
Well, you can wear the headset and then you feel like you're on the computer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, like playing video games.
Yes. Yeah.
Or like Bree was saying at her job, at like a restaurant type business, the phone would ring and these like younger kids in high school, they just stare
Froze.
at it.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to do. But yes, anybody who was trained even for an hour could pick up a phone and figure out what to do with it.
Especially when they give you a script, and I mean, it's you don't need a college degree by any means to do some of these entry level jobs, and then you get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
See if you like the company, and if you do, then you know.
Well, then too, you have time.
Right.
Because sometimes, when you're finally done with your degree or you're finally find a job and you get your foot in the door or whatever, and then it's like...
You can work for a year, live at home, sock money away, then go away to
Mhm.
school and not be so strapped for everything.
Right. And if you take a little longer and then you do that, like sometimes like, oh yikes, like this is not the company I want to be
Right.
at. So you're
Or
stuck
the even
floundering at
type of business you want to be in.
Right. So you're a little bit like older than
Wiser.
well, no, you're a little bit. I was gonna say you're a little older, and so you're like, wait, where am I going? I feel like I should already know kind of where I want to be.
I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm going to retire. That's my next goal.
End goal, retirement. Well, that's another big thing. Is like some companies, a lot of companies don't offer like 401ks anymore or anything.
No, they keep you just under 40 hours, so they don't have to give you anything.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, I never thought about retirement until like a year ago. Like I said, I'm still in my late 20s, but like, I don't have a 401k. I don't work for a major company, so it's like, okay.
Right. And you don't own a home that you could sell or something like that. Yeah.
Well, right. And then even AJ, who you guys met in the previous podcast, hopefully, he had a full-time job, same thing, but they didn't offer, like, they had benefits, but didn't have, like, a 401k plan, like, nothing like that. And I feel like when you're still younger, if you're not thinking about it, then it's all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, crap.
Oh, time goes by. Yep, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep. And then you got to go through a couple crashes in the stock market and gain the money back that you lost first, and then start all over again.
That's another thing. I've tried to learn about the stock market, and it's just like, oh my god, if you're
it's
not
like playing a slot machine.
Which you're very fond of.
Yes,
lately.
I am. It's not a good retirement plan, though.
No, I wouldn't say so. Queen of Hearts is better.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm still not.
We'll just have gambling and a lottery as a backup plan, just in case you can win it. Which is fun to think about, but not a great long-term plan, I suppose.
No.
So, as far as like healthcare goes, just in your opinion, and we always say on this podcast that none of us here are professional anythings really. Well, like, what do you think kind of has to happen in that realm for things to just?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a hard one.
It's gotten so out of control. I mean, like, I know somebody that has insurance, but they were transitioning to another insurance, and when the hospital bill went through their old insurance, they thought she had no insurance, so she gets something from the hospital saying that her bill, they knocked off $800 of her bill because she doesn't have insurance. And I'm thinking, okay, so what's the real bill?
Yeah, like what's happening?
Right, so then she tells them she has insurance, and they just billed the wrong insurance, and then the bill was back up to the $1,000. So I don't know. I think it's just over exuberant a lot. Like an X-ray, you walk in, it's $150 on the board, and then it goes through your insurance, and it's like $2,000.
Well, I remember one time when you had to take me to the hospital, and one of the like 5 times.
Yeah.
But we got there probably around 9 p.m. and then it just took so long for everyone to make their rounds and to get to us that we got out of there probably around 12:15, like a little past midnight. But then because of they charged for an overnight stay, and it's like, what? No, that's not my fault that you got there so slow. That 15 minutes past midnight meant I had to
stay another day.
Yeah, I got charged for another day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and just things like that. And, we've talked before on the podcast about how the hospitals definitely can overcharge like that, but it's also like, where's the line, because to run a hospital is not a cheap thing.
No.
So how do you even
Well, that's like
begin?
HMO, because HMO, they, talk with the doctors and tell the doctors what they're going to pay, and the doctor either says, yes, I will do that, or no, I will not. So HMO's harder and harder because a lot of doctors, they're just not going to let them tell them, oh, instead of $300, you're going to take $100.
Right.
So, like now, I just got a letter that my doctor from HMO, he decided to leave the practice. And I'm like, oh, great. So now I got to find another doctor. And usually the HMO doctors are kind of like in and out, bam, 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 because, they got to make up the money.
Okay.
Because they could see one patient under regular insurance and get $300. See me for $100. They got to make up 2 more people in that time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So they got to
so-
kind of hop around.
Yeah, so HMO is great once you find a network, but you always got to get a referral, and you got to jump through hoops, and I'm like paying all this money, and I still got to do all this crazy. So
That is another thing. Like, yeah, having to get all these referrals for like even basic things that just
Hangnail?
deviate. Yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh, like come on. Or like, recently around here there was like the merging of 2 hospitals
yeah.
and like things are just completely off then.
Yep.
They can't like find a good way to transition and do everything.
No, and then even that, the affiliate hospitals that are with this merger, my insurance being HMO, I still can't go to the one that's downtown. I can only go to the one out here. But if you're the same hospital, I should be able to go to the one I want.
Well, right, especially if you happen to be somewhere else and it's
There's a code on my card, and I can only go to the specific things in that code.
so
So
annoying.
like I said, HMO pays for a lot once you find someone that'll take it, but it's always a challenge.
Well, and that's something that we hit on too in some of these podcasts is just like, especially the healthcare issue. Millennials are kind of getting the brunt of it, but it spans across.
Oh, everybody.
Yeah, like nobody's
like,
safe.
In retirement, you have Medicare, but then you always have to have a supplement because you'll go broke. Because they only pay 70%, and then you're gonna 30% of a heart surgery. You're still gonna.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah. So every older person has to have a secondary insurance.
Doesn't that like defeat the whole purpose of the point?
The point was you can retire and get benefits through the government. But
So you can't even if you have a retirement plan, you can't even retire and be and relax.
No, you
Yeah.
can't retire early for sure, because if you're nowhere near 65, you're not going to get Medicare, and then you can't afford insurance.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It'd be the
Out of pocket.
Yeah, out of pocket would be, for my age group, probably $600 or $700
That's per month.
per month.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a $8,000 deductible, I'm sure.
That's just crazy. And then you hear about other countries who have universal health care. And that's
But there's
it's
pros and cons to
well,
that too.
exactly. So some people complain that the care isn't as good.
Right.
The lines are long.
Well, even some states in our own country. I mean, when you're retiring, it's cheap here, but then you find out, somebody was telling me in Kentucky, it's all nurse practitioners you see. If you see a doctor, you're lucky because it takes months to see a doctor.
Yeah, that happened to me out in the city. There's only in certain places only nurse practitioners, which is nothing
Which they
wrong.
probably know more than the doctors.
Right, but it's when you're thinking you're going to see your doctor
Or if you
something.
have
like,
to see a
who are
doctor
you?
because your insurance. A lot of insurances
that's
don't
true
consider
too.
a nurse practitioner something on their payroll. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's all just a mess. And
Yep.
I think what we talked about last time, like with the healthcare issue, like there's got to be something that's affordable. That like
And good.
your age group, if you shouldn't have to have a secondary insurance after you retire, but if you do, it should be something that's
Right.
not a ton of money. It's just that little extra that you need,
Right.
especially at an age where you're gonna need it
Yeah.
more.
Yep. Trying to have fun.
Yeah, I got a party
Having fun in
hardy.
retirement. How am I going to play those slot machines if I'm paying for all this insurance?
Oh gosh, I just feel like you're gonna retire one day and you'll go missing, and then we'll find you just ching.
Oh, I wish. You don't even do that anymore. I wish.
I guess that's true. It's just button pushing.
Yeah.
But hey, if that's how maybe if you get like a boat and then you put one of those on the boat, I feel like that'd be your ultimate
Right.
retirement dream.
Maybe I could ride the boat around with the slot machine in it and then have people come aboard and play.
There you go, and you
Oh.
can charge them a small fee.
A floating casino. Just a little tiny one.
Yeah, like a little
A
personal.
little personal.
All right, yeah, I like this. Job opportunities for both of us. We can start our own business.
Yeah, because someone has to drive the boat because then we have to watch the person play.
We can hire someone for pretty cheap. Be on the lookout, everybody. We're starting our own. I don't know what the insurance would be like
true.
that on
Mm-hmm.
just in general, but can have dreams. It's all good. Anything else you'd like to add to our sad generation?
Oh.
Just kidding. our generation isn't sad. We're just a little lost, I think. The lost generation is more a good way to.
Yeah, because I think
this.
it is going to turn around for the next group coming up because they're just not going to put up with it.
Yeah.
You guys kind of got thrown into it, and you're like, whoa, what's happening?
Right.
And then the next group's going to be like,
yeah.
F that.
Well, especially in the way of college, like, yeah, we were kind of thrown in, and, like, between us and then our parents, like,
right.
You guys didn't fully probably grasp what this whole loan thing was going to be, and, like, so now we're stuck floundering, and then the next generation, Gen Zers, are probably looking at us like, dummies, just either do a trade, wait to go to college, you know what I mean, and so there won't be, so we're going to just...
Right, and these parents loans that a lot of people got into, then, they take your Social Security if you don't pay the parent loan. So, like...
Really?
Yeah, so, like, if I took a loan for you, and I'm just kind of holding it because I can't pay it, when I apply for Social Security, they're going to take that to pay that loan.
Oh,
I mean, people had no idea. So you're going to retire, and you're thinking this loan will just go away.
Oh, I see. Yeah, wishful thinking.
Yeah. If I blink, this loan just go away. But so there's all kinds of, even with housing too. We all got screwed on. The housing took a tank, and nobody's house was worth what it was, and people were trying to refinance to send their kids to college, and this whole time span, a lot of stuff financially went on that we're all still digging out of. But
and I think it's interesting though with the housing thing, because a lot of people from your generation could afford to buy a house, not maybe right away, but pretty soon, and they have the option to refinance. Not that it's always someone's first exciting option to do, but like for me in my generation, I know maybe like 3 people who own a house who just bought it. So it's not like that's, maybe once their kids in college.
Don't buy in Illinois, kids.
That's my mom's warning. Everybody has to listen to Lila over here, okay?
Don't use my real name.
Oh, that's not her real name anyways. It's too late now. Your face is going to be all over the internet.
Oh, no. Not all over.
No, not all over. We don't have that many viewers yet. But yeah, so like I feel like a lot of people, by the time more of my friends or my generation own houses, and like who knows when the hell anyone would be able to pay the house off.
Oh yeah, right.
In order to do.
Well, you guys buying them later, right? So even if you take a 30-year mortgage, you're at 60 years old before your house is paid
exactly.
off.
And so if you have kids, well then again, people are having kids later now because they can't afford them.
It's
so
not a really
maybe
good retirement investment, a house, if you're going to be 60 by the time it's paid off.
Well, yeah, I know. You look at, like, we just looked into loans not too long ago, just out of curiosity. Yeah, and it's like 30 years, and it's like, ugh. Like, that's so long.
They have car loans now that are like 10 years. I mean, the car's a pile of crap by the time you pay it. I don't know.
Yeah, really. That's a long time for a car.
But the payment looks nice, 10 years. It's low, but...
That's how they get you.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So it's just everything. It's like there's all these different things, little lanes.
I think we're going to go back to living in multi-generation homes. Wait, we're already doing that. We're ahead of our time.
We're trendsetters.
Woo-woo.
There's so many people living here right now. It's a party house. Well, until we get this boat casino thing going, that's probably how it's going to be.
Maybe I'll get a houseboat. Then I can live on the boat, and it's a casino. Now we got it going on.
A lot going on, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But to that point of multiple people living in a house, you know other people. It's like me and Bree are not the only millennials or people our age.
They say 70% of people are living at home or their parents pay part of their bills?
Yeah, exactly.
So it'd be like that. If I didn't want you here, I'd have to be paying for your rent somewhere else. But I like having you here, so you get stuck.
Thanks. You like me having me here now? We'll see. But yeah, so it's just crazy because I feel like so many people, like now, people my age who went to college, I think literally one person who's able to go to college and right after college stay out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
did their parents sell right away? Because that's what people do.
just went into hiding. Don't come back here. They did not, but I feel like most other people had to come back and live at home after college.
I was just at the wedding shower, and all the girls were talking about, out of all their friends, one is adulting. And then they all argued about who was doing less adulting. Like, they wanted to win that contest. Like, I'm the lowest of the group. I'm like,
the lowest ranked.
The lowest ranked adulter.
The most millennial of everybody is me.
Yeah. I gotta have some title, I guess,
That's true. You gotta stand out somehow, I guess. Right. Yeah.
They're all arguing, oh, no, it's me. Oh, no, I have this, and I'm not doing that, and I'm oh, no, it's me. And I'm like, oh, gosh, now we're arguing about who's at the bottom of the pile.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, well, and it, they're probably saying it jokingly, but like...
Right, but really thinking like, ugh.
Well, right, like how, it's hard to claw your way out these days, and it's just like...
Nope.
It's exhausting mentally and physically.
You just gotta live your life and embrace what you're doing right now, I guess, because, it'll make you crazy. Then you'll start having to use that health insurance because you're going to be all stressed out.
Well, yeah, exactly, right. Everyone's going to be having, aneurysms at the age of 35 because we cannot deal with
many strokes.
Everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, gosh. All right, everybody. You got to meet my mother over here. What a hoot she is. We'll be back to talking to millennials next episode, but, I only have so many friends, and people sometimes can't commit to things, and then they can.
Millennials, or whatever you call yourself. Millennials can't commit to anything.
Can't even get the name of our generation right. Wow. But anyways, like I always say at the end of everything, hit me up. I have an email, and then I also have a new Instagram if you want to discuss certain topics, or if you have some kind of solution you think would work for any of the things that come up in any of these podcasts. I'm always open to listening to people. Just don't be a total ass, You can have a conversation and not be a jerk.
You could be an ass.
All right.
A fun podcast.
Leela said you can be an ass, so I guess that's just how it's going to be. She can answer that email. So